It's been almost 24 hours since that thrilling World Cup final was played in Russia, the FIFA 2018 final between Croatia and France. And there's no dip in the enthusiasm. These are images from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, where the team has returned to a hero's welcome. They may have lost the finals of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, but the Croatian football team has definitely won hearts. As you can see, for kilometers on end, hundreds of people have gathered in Zagreb for the official welcome parade. They're waving flags and they're cheering on the team, which has charted an incredible World Cup journey. Croatia is a country with a population of barely 4 million. It was a country that was forged by war. It has no formal football education system. They've never been in a final before. Their best performance was in 1998 when they were ranked third in FIFA. They're led by a man called Luka Modric, one of the most underrated footballers according to experts in the world. And they were up against France, which is a traditional football powerhouse, a former world champion, a former European champion. The contrast couldn't have been more stark, and yet Croatia held their own. They may have lost the cup, but they won hearts. And these are live images, stunning pictures of the kind of welcome parade that this country has organized for its World Cup heroes. Croatia came third in the 1998 World Cup. It was still a new nation then. There was a lot of patriotic pride. They were brimming with that pride and they pulled themselves through. But over the past 20 years, they've seen a lot worse. They're among the poorest countries in Europe. They're among the least populated. Their economy has failed. They're the least developed member of the European Union. Has to be the best moment in Croatia's short history, a small Balkan nation with a population of just over 4 million, 1/13th the size of England. They raced to the final undefeated in a tournament where the traditional heavyweights were all booted out. Croatia did what appeared to be the impossible until a few weeks back. They were on the cusp of conquering the world as far as football is concerned. That wasn't meant to be, but they're the heroes certainly. Had a spectacular run. They had all the reasons to be confident of a win in the final last night. Their journey was spectacular. Luka Modric is the skipper, the man who led this team. He has been a very gifted midfielder, widely regarded as among the best in the world in his position. And he did play his role in the final and was awarded for that. Football for Croatians is more than a game. It's a symbol of national pride, and you can see the evidence of that on the streets of Zagreb, the capital of Croatia today, where people have turned out in large numbers. It's a Monday. It's a day when people traditionally go to work, but they're out on the streets to welcome their football team, and they're cheering on and they're waving those flags. It's a spectacular sight. The president made as much news as the team. She flew economy class to watch this game in Russia. Kolinda Gabrar-Kitarovic. She danced at the victory over Russia, and she hugged the players even after they lost the match. And Croatia have a history with France. It's not the first time that they faced France and did so well. Back in 1998, when they first made it to the FIFA World Cup, they played France. And they were against the French team in France, and they were ranked third in the World Cup. They lost to the hosts then 2-1. This time it was 4-2. The Croatian team has a history, a bloody history. 17 of these players lived through at least part of the dissolution of Yugoslavia, the most brutal conflict in Europe since the Second World War. A conflict that left more than 140,000 people dead and displaced millions more. These are the children of that conflict who've conquered the world now. Every single player has had a difficult background story. They've been refugees of war. They've been victims of agents. They've been marginalized by their clubs, they say, and many have compromised to keep their place. They don't have the facilities that the other teams, the bigger players, the bigger members in the fray enjoyed, and yet, through sheer grit and dedication, they worked their way up and made it to the finals of the FIFA World Cup 2018 in Russia. Perhaps the biggest moment in the history of this country since it was formed 26 years back. A big day for Croatia, people turning up on streets, clicking pictures as the teammates sit on top of this bus for the victory, for the welcome parade, rather.
Siđi dolje! Pirati se Slavonio, lepota ne tvoja voli, nema ono, ko te ne zna, ko te ne zna, a ne voli. Pirati se Slavonio, lepota ne tvoja voli, nema ono, ko te ne zna, ko te ne zna, a ne voli. Doktore, polako pisamo materiju do paralelu.
It's like the whole country is partying and they're out on the road singing, waving flags and cheering. They may have lost the World Cup, but they have won. They have won on so many fronts for a country with a failed economy, for the least developed, least populated country of the European Union. This is a big achievement. Croatia have punched well above their weight and they're celebrating with good reason. This is a welcome parade in the Croatian capital of Zagreb, where the football team is being felicitated with fireworks, with songs, with chants, and with lots of cheers from their fans and admirers. Incredible images from a beautiful country there, and the enthusiasm is infectious. This World Cup run means so much for a country for which football is not just a game, it's a symbol of national pride. For a country with minimal resources to be able to reach thus far is a story that will go down in footballing history as one of the most amazing ones. It's not for nothing that they call football a beautiful game. Once the game was over, the leaders of France, Croatia and Russia visited the team's locker room to celebrate the finals, and this is how it unfolded.
Je voudrais dire un grand merci.
Je suis la présidente de Croatie. Félicitations. Vive la France.
Putin, 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 Président, 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 président,
Predsjednik Macron, da svi dođemo, da svi čestitamo reprezentaciji. Naši. Toliko ste bili dobri večeras. Malo je falo.
Dobro je ovdje predsjednica, dobri smo.
Just saw there the Croatian president sporting the team jersey, hugging the players and getting pictures clicked, and she's made almost as many headlines as the team. She flew economy class to watch the World Cup finals. She's going to take a salary cut for the days she was away from Croatia to watch these matches. And she was present on the podium with the French president as the medals were being handed out. These are live images from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, a small Balkan nation with barely 4 million people, the highest emigration rate. Their best performance was in 1998, and some estimates say that Croatia is down by 3 lakh people. That many people have left this already small and underpopulated country in the last 20 years. They were up against a traditional football powerhouse, France. They've been European champions, they've been world champions. They have a lethal attacking talent in their 19-year-old skipper. And they were managed and sponsored by the very best in world football. Croatia were the Davids in this tournament. They lost, but they won. momentous occasion in the 26-year-old history of this small, tiny European nation, born after a war, has seen a lot of tumult in the past 2 decades and has barely survived. For them to have reached so far in the World Cup, to have conquered some of the biggest heavyweights in world football, was an achievement that wasn't that was miraculous, if nothing else. Everywhere you see, it's the colors of the Croatian flag and the red and white checks, symbols for the Croatian football team jersey. When they entered the FIFA World Cup more than 2 decades back, they were ranked 125th. Almost overnight, they jumped up to the 3rd position. That was a game that they played against France in 1998, where they lost to France 2-1. And 20 years down the line, they again made history. They qualified for 3 consecutive World Cups. They did not qualify for the 2010 tournament. And now in 2018, they made it to the finals of the FIFA World Cup in Russia. They played against France, lost 4-2. Bright, beautiful morning in Zagreb. Streets lined with football fans and supporters of the team as they make their way past all these people who've gathered there to cheer them on. This is a welcome parade, the biggest one ever this country has perhaps seen, for the Croatian heroes who've returned after a stunning run at the FIFA World Cup in Russia. According to some reports, was introduced in Croatia in 1873 by English expatriates. But they started playing professional international tournaments only as late as 1996, when they successfully qualified for the 1996 European Championships. And 2 years later, in 1998, they were formally admitted into the FIFA World Cup competition. They lost to France in the semi-finals then, and they won against the Netherlands. They reached the World Cup finals in 2018, finishing all tournament stages undefeated. And this tournament's best player was the skipper, the captain of this team, Luka Modric. Story of inspiration and hope. These pictures from Croatia as the team returns home to this awesome welcome party. We're leaving you with these images. Thanks very much.